Welcome back, NeoSentience1 here. Second video in 2 days. Like I said, I'm back. So, what are we getting into today? There's a few things that have been going around my mind since I made the last video. One of which is something my mom used to do. Actually, no, she still does it. She does it for my nephews. And so basically, whenever we were going to church, Mom would put $1 or 50 cents in our pocket so that we could put it in the collection plate. If you're doing that to your children, stop it right now. Reason being, why do it? All right, if you ain't got a good reason to do it, stop doing it. If you want to tithe or give a particular gift or sacrifice or offering to God, church, ministry, whatever, you need to do it. Maybe your kid can deliver it, but only have one kid do it. Don't pass it out to several kids. Keep it separate from what they need to put in the plate. You give them $1 to put in the plate, they get in their head this idea that what you put in the plate is some free money that just comes to put in the plate. There's no sacrifice there, at least none that the kids can see. So if they're going to put money in the plate, and you might have to kind of force this in the beginning so that they can have the experience, but when they are to do their own tithing and their own offerings, they need to understand that that money is coming from them. Okay? They have to feel that loss, that their account got drained a little bit to do this. Just handing them money to put in the plate, it doesn't mean anything. Okay? So let them have an opportunity to earn some money, and then from that, they can put that in the plate. Or if you gift them money, do it away from the whole idea of giving to the collection plate. If you're going to gift them money, gift them money. Say, this is your money. And then when next Sunday rolls around, or whenever you send kids to church, then you can say, oh, were you going to give an offering today? Go get your money. Okay? And they have to understand that that's money that they don't have anymore because they put it in the plate. They have to feel the loss to truly understand what it is to give. When I was checking out the Seventh-day Adventists, I ended up going to one of their Bibles, well, a few of their Bible studies and Sunday schools, or not Sunday school, sorry. Interesting Freudian slip there. Okay. Or their, what would they call that? I guess Bible study. Anyway, one of the things they were going over on this particular day was when Rahab let the Israelites kind of hide out, and then she lied about them being there, right? Now, granted, the guys who were leading this class were probably not ordained ministers. They weren't the leader of the church, I don't think. I don't think they were, even leaders of a portion of the church. I think they were just volunteers, probably laity. However, for some reason, what they got out of that was that God sanctioned Rahab's lie, or approved of it, or caused her to lie. None of those are biblical. Okay. Did God use her lie? Yes. Did he know she was going to lie? Was he going to use it? Yes. Did he cause her to lie? No. When we lie, it's because we don't trust God. Ever since we were little, I think we were all told that honesty is the best policy. And that is especially true when it comes to dealing with God, right? The Israels were sent by God into this military action, I guess you want to call it, maybe. Let's fast forward to the 1900s. All right, we had over around Germany, we had the Holocaust against the Jews. Okay, and some Jews would be hiding in somebody's attic or in their basement, even just beneath the floorboards. The Nazis come knocking, knock knock. Do you have any Jews? And a lot of people would lie and say, no, there are no Jews here. They might even say, we hate the Jews. Why would we keep Jews here? Okay. But it was a lie. That was one way they answered. Another way they could have answered was, there's Jews here. What's it any business of yours? Okay, they could have went that way. They could have said, I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you whether there's Jews here or not. This is my house. What I do in here is private. They could have said that. One thing I don't think I've ever heard anybody say or even bring up as a possibility is what if the guy knocking on the door, yes, he's dressed like a Nazi, he talks like a Nazi. However, what if he was one of God's angels? Do you have any Jews here? Okay. What if you answer yes? What if, based on that answer yes, this angel in Nazi clothing says, good. Got my guys, all my subordinates on the other side of the town right now doing such and such. You guys follow me. We're going to get you out of here. Let's get you to safety. Then when my guys come back through, we'll sweep this house, find out there's nobody here, and we'll leave you alone from here on out. When you lie, you're distrusting God. Like I said, honesty is the best policy. If you just tell the truth, you don't have nothing else to worry about. If you tell the truth, if you trust in God, you know that you're a child of God, you know He has your best interests at heart, always, always, always tell the truth. Even if it looks like dire circumstances. Okay? Even if you're facing death. I'm probably going to catch some flack for this. Even if your own child is the one being threatened, I believe that telling the truth is the best way to get through that situation. Even Isaac was offered up by Abraham, and he trusted God. I know that's going to be a tough one. Wrestle with that one in your own heart and mind. You need to dig into Scripture, pray about it. One thing about doing this decade-long hiatus is about 10 years ago when I was making my first videos here. Again, I was more zealous than I was knowledgeable. Because of that, I'd say some things that weren't as scriptural. It's because at that time, what I was eating, as far as, living by the Word of God, is that was just milk, right? But living the Christian life, you come across the harder stuff. You can get tougher meat. It's not always a wonderful steak. Sometimes this is really hard, gristly. You have to rip it off the bones. It is very, very tough truth. But once you digest that truth, and it becomes part of you, you can stand stronger against this world. I'm not saying it's ever going to be perfectly easy. I'm just going to say that the stronger you are, the more things you can get through. Okay, so let's move on. I'm going to talk about the friend zone and platonic friends. Okay, guys, have you ever been friend zoned? Have you ever been put in the friend zone by the girl that you're in love with? You want to give her everything. You want to be the sensitive guy. You want to be the shoulder for her to cry on. You want to be her provider. You want to be all those things. And yet, you're the guy that she does come to for all the emotional support. My boyfriend was mean to me. He just doesn't treat me right, and blah, blah, blah. And you're expected to be there and console her, and so on and so forth. All the things her husband should be there for. I'm going to tell you that the friend zone is the gender swap version of the player dude. Okay? So pretend you're the female, or ladies, pretend you're you, okay? And there's this really hot guy, all right, Mr. Popular, or he's really hot, or whatever. Whatever reason he's desirable to you, that's the guy, right? And you want to do everything you can for him, right? You want to be there. You're like, oh, this is the guy I can have babies with, and so on and so forth. We're going to have such beautiful children, and oh, he seems to be such a provider. Look, he's got a great car and a great job, and this, and that. Okay? But for some reason, all he wants from you is a one-night stand. And that's all he wants from basically all the other girls. And so he's the hit it and quit it kind of guy. And if you ever watched Jerry Maguire, I think Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character calls it shoplifting the something. Okay. Anyway, so it's the same thing. You have one person who is wanting to cherry pick certain parts out of what should be part of a relationship and neglecting all the other parts. And you have somebody letting them do that. The person letting them do that is the one who feels used. So ladies, you probably feel used for sex. Guys, this is the definition of the friend zone. You feel used for all the emotional support you've been given a lady. Now, girls, the guy who you usually friend zone usually is not the guy who's only after sex. He wants to be in a real relationship with you. Okay? Yes, sex is part of that. Or it's part of a normal, healthy relationship, especially a long-term relationship. So, unless you're married, you should not be engaging in certain types or parts of relationships with people of the opposite sex. Okay? So guys, if you're going to give your heart to a girl, you need to have some sort of commitment that you're courting her or she is your wife. Ladies, don't give up the sex except your husband. Okay? It really is this simple, and the Bible has prescribed this for thousands of years. Why we act like it's a freaking surprise now, I don't know. The whole idea of the friend zone, I think I first seen it in a John Hughes movie with, was it Ducky and, what? I don't know, the redhead chick. Nonetheless, point is, it's been a trope. It's been in movies and TV shows a lot since the 80s. And a lot of people find themselves in this friend zone they don't understand. Well, I'm telling you, right here, right now, what the friend zone is it is the inverse of the player dude. Except instead of a girl getting used just for sex, it's a guy getting used for the emotional stuff. Now, the sex and the emotional stuff, those only belong in a married relationship. Okay? Two become one. So, can platonic friends exist? Maybe if they're both eunuchs of some sort. Maybe. Maybe if they're nuns or monks or whatever, if they have zero sexual desire, zero desire to get married, have kids, they just cannot be in that kind of relationship, and they're not trying to sneak out parts of these relationships elsewhere. Maybe. Okay? I mean, it'd have to be so sanitary. It's impossible to even imagine truly, fully. Now, we can create this like fantasy structure over here, but if you try to apply that to anybody in real life, you're like, no, they don't fit that. They don't fit that. That person won't fit that. I don't fit that. It's like the whole idea of like the good person. Sure, we can imagine, we can define what a good person is. Now let's go try to find him. Have you ever told a lie? Okay. Everybody on earth has told a lie. Okay. Have you always kept God number one in your life? Nope. Can't think of a single person who's done that. Okay. That's just two of the 10 Commandments. We can go on, but you only need to break one to break them all. So there's no such thing as a good person. And honestly, I don't think there's any such thing as a platonic friend of opposite sex. Now, can a person of the opposite sex be in your group of friends? Sure. In a group of friends. So, ladies, your little ladies group goes out and hangs out with the group of dudes. Y'all go bowling. Whatever. That I see as something that you guys can do. You go to singles groups at a particular church, maybe. I'm not saying that you can't have some sort of friendly relationship with a person of the opposite sex. What I'm saying is you cannot have that intimate stuff going on without A, being married, or B, doing the whole cherry picking of parts of relationships, which leaves somebody feeling used. Okay? It's completely unhealthy. So stop that. And so I think that's about the end of this video. If you want to ask a question down there in the comment section, started off with @NeoSentience1. I'll do my best to cover it in a future video. So until next time.